Hello, I'm doing this screen record to show you how to use the Flograde app for vehicle inspection. So if you want to inspect a vehicle, log in your Flograde app and then you see this button, start new inspection. Before now you should have been signed up. So click on start new inspection. So the first step is the vehicle identification step. So here you enter your VIN number, the plate number if the vehicle is registered, and you enter the condition of the vehicle. If it's foreign used, you select foreign used. If it's Nigerian used, you select Nigerian used. So down here is for your make, model, year, trim, color. So usually when you enter your VIN, it decodes the VIN and it tells you the make, model, year. But then there are occasions, depending on the spec of the vehicle. Some Asian vehicles may not populate your make, model, year. So what to do in that case is you manually enter your make, model, year. For example, Toyota Camry 2014, let's say sports, for example, color black. Then you enter your mileage in kilometer, write out the number, for example, let's say 45,600. You select your transmission type, you select your fuel type here, you enter the location of the inspection, you enter the dealer and the seller name, number of doors, engine displacement, cylinder, you know enter your drivetrain. When you're done with the entire step, you select next. So the second step is for required photo. So here we have front view, rear view, left side, right side, dashboard, interior front seat, interior rear seat, engine bay, VIN slash chassis plate. So what you do in this step is that you select this, and then you can go to your photo library if you already have the photo taken on your phone already, or you can take live photo by selecting this take photo. I think it will make the inspection faster. So you take photo, you snap, you upload for front view. You take photo, you snap, you upload for rear view. You do that for left side, right side, dashboard, interior front seat, interior rear seat, engine bay, VIN, left front tire, right front tire, left rear tire, right rear tire, spare tire, boot trunk, undercarriage frame, paint issue, damage closer, rust, flood indicator. Then here is for your scan. You can ignore here for now because you'll still be required to upload your scan later on. So what you do when you're done with everything is you click next. So this is where the main inspection starts, from the engine inspection, right? Step 3. So in this inspection you have to look at all the items and select either if there is issue or no issue. So for example, we have code start behavior. If there is issue, you select issue here, you get, and then you can add supporting note, maybe a short note about the issue. And then if there is no issue, you select no issue, like this. We have engine oil condition. If there is no issue, you select no issue. You have coolant level and color. If there is issue, you select issue. If there is no issue, you select no issue. You have oil or coolant leak. If there is issue, you select issue. If there is no issue, select no issue. You check through all the items and mark, select their conditions. So for this oil or coolant leaks, right, I selected issue there. So I may have to I will have to add a supporting evidence for the issue. So when I'm done with this entire section, I just click next. Right. So here is transmission inspection. You check for smooth gear engagement, transmission fluid condition, gear shift response, manual clutch feel if applicable, reverse engagement, transmission underload, transmission fluid leak, torque converter shoulder. So what you do here also, for each of the item, if there is any issue, you select issue, you write a short note. If there is no issue, you select no issue, but you have to tick one condition for each of the item. So when you're done, you go next. So here is body and paint inspection. The first item on the list is panel gap consistency. If there is an issue, you select issue, you add a short note. Then we have paint depth slash paint evidence. If it's fine, you select no issue. We have surface scratches and chips. If there is issue, you select issue. You have minor dent, moderate dent, repainted panel, front bumper cover. We have all of them. So go through it and select the condition for it. If there is no issue, you select the no issue button, and if there is issue, you select issue, and then you can add a short note. So for this particular inspection, when you're done, you scroll down. For all the items that you selected, that you reported an issue, you have to upload supporting evidence for the item, right? You can just take the photo of, let's say it scratches. You open your camera and take the live photo and upload. So when you're done with everything, this is just a test, right? Just showing you how to do it. When you're done filling all the info, you go next. The next step is interior inspection. So you check seat condition, dashboard condition, headliner condition, carpet and floor mats, and all of it, right? So also in this stage, if there is issue, you select issue. If there is no issue, you select no issue. Dashboard condition, if there is issue, you select issue. If there is no issue, you select no issue, right? If there is issue with headliner, select issue. So also, just like the body inspection, for this stage also, you upload supporting photo evidence for any issue that you report. So you just click and upload. When you're done with all the whole items, you go next. So here is for electrical and OBD inspection. After you've done your scan and you get your code, you just, for this OBD 2 diagnostic scan, you select issue for it. Then you manually type in the codes you get. When you type them in, the system automatically decodes, and it will, write the meaning of the code in here, you get. So for example, let me just type one of these codes so that you can see what happens. I think it says 420. Okay. Yeah, look at it. So what to do is, if you have multiple codes, let's say you have 4 codes, you just type the first one, insert a comma, space, type the second one, like that till you're done. When you're done, you check your battery condition, alternator output, airbag warning light. If there is issue, you tick issue. If there is no issue, you tick no issue. But then you have to tick everything. So down here, this is where you upload your OBD scan code. If it's a screenshot, you upload the screenshot, and if you're using a device for it, you can just snap you can open your camera and snap and upload, you get. So when you're done, you click next. This is for air conditioning, right? You check cooling performance, compressor engagement, blower fan speed, AC odor, condenser condition. So you tick for each of the item. If there is issue, you tick. If there is no issue, you tick no issue. So when you're done, you go next. So here we have suspension and steering inspection. You check shock absorber bounce test, straight line tracking, clock silver bombs, steering wheel play, tire wear pattern, pushing condition. For each of the items, you tick one of the options, right? Then when you're done, you click next. Here is flood check, and for flood check, there are answers. There are previous answers that could flag for flood, but then you can go through any of these, and if there is any issue and you are sure, you just click on the no, right, and it changes to yes, you get. But if there is no issue at all, just leave this stage like this and go next. So yeah, when you get to this stage, you just have to go next, right? Since we are not using any live vehicle information, that's why we are not getting value. We are not getting the vehicle valuation, right? So you go next, and then you have to tick this certification. I certify that this inspection is accurate to the best of my knowledge. Enter inspector signature, you enter your name, then you enter the date and the time of the inspection, and then you submit. Yes, you submit. When you submit, it moves the inspection to the QA. So the QA reviews the inspection, the QA can accept it or push it back for correction with a comment on what to fix, right? So um, any information that you type in automatically saves, right? Any information that you type in automatically saves to your draft. So for example, the first stage is vehicle identification. So when you are done with your vehicle identification, for example, when you filled all of this, and let's say you leave this page, you can go back to your draft and still continue from where you stopped. Assuming you're done with your vehicle identification, you uploaded all your photos, right? And then maybe there's a network issue or you had to attend to something, and then it takes you out of this page. What to do is you go back to your dashboard like this. Let me cancel so that I can show you. You go back to your dashboard like this. In your active pipeline, scroll down your active pipeline. As you can see, there's a resume entry button here, right? When we started, I typed in 2014 Toyota Camry. So the active pipeline, just click on this resume entry and it takes you back to your inspection. Everything automatically saves to draft. You get. So when you are done, you just submit. You get. So that's it for now. If there's anything, you can reach out to me in my DM.